Have you seen this TV show on Amazon called The Man in the High Castle?
No, what is it?
It's a future. It's basically America if the Nazis won the war.
Whoa.
And they partner with the Japanese.
Whoa.
And the Japanese own California, Northern California, and the Nazis own the rest of the country. And the Midwest is sort of a no man's land. So New York is Nazi New York.
They split it at the Rockies.
But Japanese.
Whoa. Is
Japanese
this a series?
It's based.
Yeah,
It's
in its third season. I'm obsessed with it.
Philip Dick is the sci-fi writer, so he's
wow.
classic. It's one of his books.
Oh, no
Yeah,
shit.
so he's the mayor of New York.
He's great.
basically.
This guy.
That guy's been in a lot of stuff.
He's really good.
What is his name?
I forgot the actor's name. Rufus
Rufus
Sewell. Yeah.
Sewell? Rufus Sewell? Is that how I say it?
Yeah.
It
He's really good.
Look
He
at his
plays the
fucking
governor
name.
of New York.
What
the
season is this?
Obergrubenpfuffer.
The Obergrubenpfuffer is the governor of New York?
Yeah.
Führer is the governor of New York?
Yeah,
Wow.
but it's a very interesting show. Basically, New York cops wearing Nazi armbands. So they're still New York cops like, hey, the Führer says I got to give you a ticket. You know, it's like that. And it's fascinating how they do the show. But what's interesting about Japanese culture in the show is you see the fancy class, the aristocratic class of Japan runs essentially San Francisco, and you see how they're very snobby and very particular, and they don't really like to mix with the Americans.
Wow.
With the Anglos. It's a fascinating show.
That's a really that guy Philip K. Dick. Do you know him? Am I saying his name right?
Yeah.
He really is. He's really super cool, like in terms of the sci-fi stuff. And
Yeah,
you know,
what else has he written? I've seen, there was another movie that I saw of his like within the last 2 years.
you're right. What is it? Could you bring up his
what
books? Because I would know.
What other movies did he do? Or did they adapt of his movies? What do we got here?
So this
Scanner
guy wrote
Darkly.
that show?
Oh, Scanner Darkly. Wow, that's right. Damn. He wrote a lot of shit.
The Adjustment Team, isn't that a movie too?
Adjustment Bureau.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, the art direction is really cool. The idea of Nazifying America.
You know what's interesting too is you can still do that in a movie where you can still play Nazis as long as they're, you know, the bad people in some either historical thing or something that's going on now. That's really the only way you could portray Nazis. Like, you're not allowed to be a Nazi for Halloween. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
You
true.
can't.
That's
Like,
true.
people have said, like, people have tried it, and you get called out for it. Like, there's rules now. You can be a
I can't
Nazi
say
if you
too
want to get
much.
on that show.
What did your kids go for Halloween? Do they do that, or
Yeah,
do they
they were
even have it?
mermaids.
They what?
It was very adorable. They were mermaids. But if you're dressing up for Halloween, you could be so many terrible things.
Right.
You could be vampires and werewolves and demons, and everybody's okay, cool.
And
Zombies.
dictators.
I went as a
Dictators.
plastic straw.
Genghis Khan. You could be
Right.
Genghis Khan. Can't be Hitler.
You could be Saddam Hussein and people will laugh.
Yes, Saddam Hussein. We got him. We got that guy.
But if you dress as Mengele, you've ruined the party.
If you dress as Osama bin Laden, that might get your ass kicked. You might get your ass kicked
Right.
for that one. Right, that was too soon. But if you dress like, you could probably dress like the president of Iran. What's that dude's name? That dude that came over here and said a bunch of crazy shit
Shah.
about gay people.
Abu Jabba Jabba
Do you know what I'm talking about?
But why?
It was-
But why? Let's just talk about it for a second. I remember when people were offended that there was an Anne Frank Halloween costume. Mm-hmm. Now, if the point of talking about the Holocaust or something like that is never forget, and a 14-year-old in a non-mocking way wants to embody Anne Frank, why is that offensive? I don't understand that.
But they're never going to do it non-mocking, right? Every time you're making a Halloween costume, you're almost always trying to be silly, right? You're always oh, look, Anne Frank, he's hiding in the attic.
Halloween-acost. But I don't know. It all depends on, to me, your intentions.
100%. You should be able to wear whatever the fuck you want. I mean,
That's
you
why I
really-
never understood when that Prince Harry got all this shit for dressing like a Nazi. It's like, I don't know, maybe.
When did he dress like a Nazi?
He,
When was it?
he dressed it was a costume party.
Yeah.
And he
And
dressed
then
as
all
a
the World
Nazi?
War II veterans are like, what would you do? Why would you do that? You know.
Because
he
that doesn't
wanted to-
mean he's
Right.
glorifying it, does it? I guess if he's the prince.
Right, but you could be a Mongol. You could be one of the Mongol horde that tore through Europe.
But he's
Killed
also a symbol
millions.
unto itself. He's a symbol of the English royalty and all that kind
I
of
guess
stuff.
because it's hundreds of thousands of years later. It's okay.
Hey, but he grew up all right. He got out of it.
That motherfucker's living under a microscope, though. I mean, what he can get away with, but pretty much no one can get away with being a Nazi anymore. There was a guy from, like, North Carolina or something like that recently. Him and his son were Nazis for Halloween.
There's one person that can get away with it, and I can't say too much because we haven't released it yet. But
Oh, okay.
Gilbert Gottfried.
No, he can get away with
I know
it.
what
If you're a Jew, you can get away with it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about
you
that.
Have yeah, you can. Yeah.
Everybody's you know.
Well, that was one of the
everyone's
things
upset
about
all the
Roseanne,
time.
too.
Yes. Go ahead. You're right. I mean,
Remember when she did that? She dressed as a Nazi?
Yeah. I always think that stuff's funny. When I was a 13-year-old kid in Hebrew school or grade school learning about the First Amendment, this is one of the reasons I became a comedian was because I used to just draw swastikas on my notebooks just because I knew I could. I was like, they would teach us about dictatorships, and I would go, wow, so in any other country, they can't do this, and I would just do it, make myself smile, and then cross it out. And I go, in any other country, I'd get my tongue cut out. I go, that's the most beautiful thing is that you can say fucked up, terrible, you can dress like an asshole. Like, bad taste is not a crime.